In February 1959, a 28-year-old Somerset waitress finished what would be the final day of her life. Within hours, Martha Mae Franklin Van Hook would be found on Crab Orchard Road. Investigators soon focused on a man she had known for years. Witnesses placed Martha with him that night, and police found evidence they considered significant. A jury heard the case, and then the jury acquitted him. 3 years later, another waitress was found dead beside a field in Indiana. This time, the same man was convicted. Several other deaths would later be attributed to him in online databases and secondary accounts. Some involved waitresses. Others involved people reportedly connected to his work or earlier life. Were those cases actually connected? The honest answer is that we do not know. Frank Lever was acquitted in Martha Van Hook's case. He was convicted in only one homicide we could independently verify: the 1962 murder of Anita Christine Barmore. Everything else must be approached as a question, not a conclusion. Martha Franklin was born in Wayne County on December 10, 1930. Her parents were Dewey and Lori Brumley Franklin. As an adult, Martha moved to Somerset, married Clarence Van Hook, and worked as a waitress in local restaurants. She and Clarence had 2 children. By early February 1959, the couple had recently divorced. But according to Clarence, their relationship may not have been completely over. He later told investigators that they had discussed reconciling and possibly remarrying. Martha was only 28 years old. On Tuesday, February 3, 1959, Martha moved through an ordinary day in Somerset. By that night, her family's life had changed forever. 20-year-old Willard James Hargis and 26-year-old Sidney Kenneth Phelps were driving north on Crab Orchard Road that night. They were returning from a Pulaski County Burnside basketball game. Ahead of them was another automobile driven by Wilburn Thompson. Hargis and Phelps saw Thompson brake and swerve. As they approached the same location, they saw what appeared to be a woman lying partly across the roadway. At first, they could not be certain what they had seen. They continued to the next available driveway, turned around, and headed back. Before reaching the location again, they encountered another motorist who had stopped. His name was Sam Randolph. Randolph was 51 years old and worked at Southern Belle Dairy. He had left work at approximately 11 o'clock and was driving home toward Science Hill. He saw the woman too late to stop comfortably and feared that his automobile had passed over her legs. When Hargis and Phelps returned, Randolph confirmed that the woman appeared to be dead. The 2 younger men immediately drove to the Somerset police station. Somerset police dispatched Sergeant Frank Massey and Patrolman Ed Cowan, Ted Brassfield, and Earl Markham. Pulaski County Coroner Kenneth Gibbs was called. Kentucky State Trooper Ellis Ross also responded, along with state police detectives James Yaden and Sam King. The woman was found on the eastern side of Crab Orchard Road, approximately 60 feet south of its intersection with Pumphouse Road. Police found no indication that Randolph's automobile had run over her legs. What initially appeared to be a terrible highway accident soon became something very different. Coroner Kenneth Gibbs observed injuries, indicating that Martha had not died in a traffic collision. There were marks around her neck, along with injuries to her head and body. According to the initial reports, she was still warm when authorities arrived. Gibbs estimated that she had died sometime between 10 and 11 o'clock. Investigators believed she had been killed elsewhere and placed or thrown onto the road. Martha was identified. Her family was notified. And the questioning began. Detectives first spoke with the people closest to Martha, including her recently divorced husband, Clarence Van Hook. According to Clarence, he gave Martha $20 for groceries or other expenses during their final conversation. Martha then mentioned that she planned to meet a man later that day. The man was Frank Lever. It was the last time Clarence said he saw or spoke with her. Investigators also spoke with Martha's sister, Evelyn Kilpatrick. She said Martha had known Lever for approximately 4 years and that they had dated before Martha married Clarence. Evelyn also alleged that Lever had previously threatened Martha. That statement did not prove what happened on February 3rd, but it gave detectives an immediate person to locate and question. Frank J. Lever was working for Central Overall Supply. His job required him to drive a company truck and travel through the region. Officers located him at a tourist court and brought him in for questioning. According to contemporary reports, Lever denied seeing Martha on February 3rd. Investigators noticed what they believed could be blood on his hand and on the band of his wristwatch. The mark on his hand was reportedly inconclusive. The substance on the watch band was identified as blood and submitted for additional examination. Police also learned that Lever had served approximately 15 years in prison. Investigators instead focused on where he had been, whom he had seen, and what might be inside the truck he had been driving. Officers returned with Lever to the tourist court and searched the central overall supply truck. According to reports, they found Martha's coat inside. They also found clothing marked with what appeared to be blood and 2 pieces of rope. Behind the seat were uniform shirts and bundles of rags. Lever denied knowing how Martha's coat and the other items had entered the truck. He also gave officers an account of his movements. According to that account, he checked into the tourist court at approximately 4:30 that afternoon. He said he traveled to Science Hill around 7 o'clock. He later visited 2 Somerset restaurants, ate a sandwich, drank several cups of coffee, and returned to the tourist court at approximately 10. Investigators began comparing that account with statements from other people who had been in Somerset that evening. Later that night, she was reportedly seen stepping from the central overall supply truck at the Fleet service station on West Highway 80. She entered the restroom, returned to the truck, and left with Lever in the direction of Somerset. That was reportedly the final confirmed public sighting of Martha alive. Other witnesses reported seeing a truck resembling Lever's parked on Crab Orchard Road near Pump House Road. Another person reportedly saw the truck turning around at Norfleet's service station, approximately 2 miles north of the place where Martha was found. Lever was arrested on a charge of willful murder and held without bond. A Pulaski County grand jury indicted him. A radio station broadcast an interview involving Lever and his wife from the Pulaski County Jail. This made it impossible to obtain an impartial Pulaski County jury. The court agreed to move the trial to Lincoln County. Lever's trial began on June 8, 1959. An FBI agent testified about the laboratory examination of the blood evidence. Blood on items was consistent with Martha's blood type. That phrase is important. Blood typing in 1959 generally could not identify one person to the exclusion of everyone else in the way modern DNA analysis can. In June 1959, the Lincoln County jury acquitted Frank J. Lever. Legally, the prosecution against him for Martha's death was over. 3 years after the acquittal, Lever's name surfaced in another homicide investigation. This case began in Louisville and ended in Indiana. The victim was Anita Christine Barmore. She worked as a waitress and bartender. Witnesses saw Barmore with a man who resembled Lever. When Lever appeared at a service station the following morning, a witness noticed severe scratches on both sides of his face. He claimed they were from an accident. Early on November 8th, Anita Barmore was found on the edge of a farm field near Charlestown, Indiana. She had been strangled. Forensic evidence was significantly more advanced. Investigators found blood of the same type as Barmore's, as well as hair and fecal matter inside Lever's car. While held in jail, Lever reportedly gave a note to a juvenile detainee that contained a chilling admission. "Honey, I'm guilty." The jury convicted Frank Lever of first-degree murder in April 1966. He was sentenced to imprisonment for the remainder of his natural life. The conviction caused those familiar with the Somerset case to look backward. Both women had been strangled. Both had last been reported with Lever. The similarities naturally caused people to reconsider. Several online compilations associate Lever's name with 4 additional women who were found in very similar circumstances. 3 of them strangled. However, we have not located documentation establishing that Lever was charged in any of those cases. The lists also include 2 men whose deaths are sometimes connected to Lever. One report says that Lever received a life sentence for the shooting death of Sanford, in which he served 15 years before coming to Somerset. Another report says that L.Q. Robertson was employed by the Central Overall Supply Company where Lever worked. On December 3, 1958, just 2 months before Martha Van Hook was found, Robertson was reportedly entrusted to deposit $2,600. He never completed that delivery. He was found shot twice in the head and the money missing. Some secondary sources identify Lever as a suspect in his death. We could not locate the actual documentation, so these are only assumptions or suspicious coincidences. When the material is separated, the record looks like this: 1 acquittal, 1 conviction, and 6 additional names connected to Lever through theories and secondary accounts, but not through reliable documentation establishing his responsibility. That distinction is the difference between presenting history and making an accusation. Martha Van Hook's case remains at the heart of this story. The later verdict cannot decide Martha's case retroactively. It can only leave us with questions. Those questions may not be entirely beyond reach. Coroner's files, death certificates, and archived reports may yet establish which similarities are real. Until then, they remain unanswered. History rarely survives in one complete file. Martha May Van Hook deserves to be remembered as more than a theory. She was a daughter, a sister, a mother of two. Anita Christine Barmore also deserves to be remembered as more than evidence. Neither woman should disappear behind the name of the man accused or convicted in their deaths. Sometimes, the most responsible conclusion is not an accusation. It is this: we found enough to keep looking, but not enough to declare the mystery solved. Follow for more hometown murders and mysteries. Like and share to help keep our local history alive. Until next time, remember, the history beneath our feet belongs to more than one generation.